Delhiites breathe toxic air. AQI remains very poor, but our netas fight and pass the buck. Opposition wears masks, Sirsa taunts.
400 कुछ था पिछले साल, मैं पिछले साल का पोल्यूशन बता रहा हूँ, तब आपने मास्क क्यों नहीं लगाया? अगर आपने तब ये इशू पार्लियामेंट में उठाए होते तो अब तक ये ठीक हो गया होता। हमें तो आम आदमी पार्टी बीमारी देके गई है।
Chinese embassy prescribes a pollution cure, but people need real solution. When will Delhi get breathable air is the top focus on India Today.
Hi there, I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. This is 5 Live. Delhi's air continues to be toxic, continues to slowly but surely kill us. And what exactly are our politicians doing? They are saying, it's not our problem, we inherited the problem, it will not be solved in 7 months. But what exactly is the plan? Is there a 6-month, 1-year plan that you have in mind? And why are only Delhi ministers speaking about it? What about UP? What about Haryana? What about 60% of the country which continues to breathe bad air, continues to choke slowly but surely? All that and more on the program today. Our top focus also includes, this is the last day to get your PUC done. The only needle that has moved on pollution has been the crackdown on vehicular pollution we saw yesterday. But are you going to do your bit now? That and more. All right, this is no longer just a winter problem, and it's no longer just Delhi. Hazardous air, dense smog, rising respiratory illnesses. Today, nearly 60% of India is breathing air that doctors classify as unhealthy. From the national capital to smaller cities and towns, toxic air has become a year-round public health crisis. But Delhi remains its most visible epicenter, and yet, halfway across the world, there is a reminder that this crisis is not irreversible. China's capital, Beijing, once known globally as the smog capital of the world, has managed to significantly improve its air quality in just over a decade. We know that already by now. And as Delhi's sort of air stayed in the severe category for the most of the week, China embassy in Delhi stepped in with an offer to help. In an extensive post on X, and let's put that up on our screen as well, Chinese embassy spokesperson shared before and after images of Beijing outlining the steps China took to clean up its capital, noting that both India and China have faced the same challenges of toxic air amid rapid urbanization. The subtext here was unmistakable. The science is known. The playbook exists. What matters is actually execution. Will India do it? Also, will India take China's help? But what's happening back home? Back home, vehicular pollution remains one of the biggest contributors of Delhi's smog-choked air. India did move to cleaner fuel standards. All vehicles manufactured after April 1st, 2020 and mandated to meet the BS6 emission norms. But policy on paper has not always translated into enforcement on the road. Remember that. So we'll try and find out how that is going. That's where today becomes crucial for Delhi commuters, because please listen to this carefully. From tomorrow, vehicles without any valid pollution under control certificate, what we popularly call as PUC, will not be allowed to refuel in the capital. No PUC means no petrol, no diesel. Fuel stations will deny service to non-compliant vehicles in a hard enforcement step, not an advisory. At the same time, entry restrictions remain in force. Only BS6 compliant vehicles are allowed in Delhi, while older, more polluting vehicles continue to be barred under the current anti-pollution curbs. Now remember, this is one of the rare moments that we've seen where intent is being matched with action, words are being matched with action. Finally, something has been done. But whether this becomes a turning point or just another temporary clampdown after the booing of the Delhi Chief Minister happened, well, will all of this fade away once the smog lifts? That depends entirely on enforcement. So first up on the program, let's get your view on that with our reporters. Joining me next is Shivani, Sharma and Anmol Bali. Anmol was there at the press conference as well. Both of them outside a PUC station. Shivani, I want to come to you first. Today is the last day to actually get your PUCs in place. Otherwise, from tomorrow, no fueling will take place, is what the Delhi government is saying. Has that message gone across? I'm wondering if there are long lines today outside PUC. What exactly are the people there telling you?
Sonal, I'm right now at one of the pollution checking centers in Delhi, and I was speaking to the person who's giving these certificates. He told me that what happens every day is that 10 to 12 cars come for pollution checking certificates, but today what has happened is around 30 to 40 cars had come, and still vehicles are coming here, and not only for the pollution certificates but also to get the fuels here, and in a number of petrol pumps too, Sonal. So the enforcement that has now come into being is hopefully going to make some change, because these rules under GRAP 4 they also need to be enforced strictly. But yes, you can see the cameras out here also which have been put here, so everything will be noted and recorded, and no vehicle will be getting any fuel without the compliances, without the pollution checking certificates. They have to show those certificates first, and these petrol pumps are also preparing for that enforcement, Sonal, in the national capital, because national capital suffers the most with the highest AQIs and poisonous air. So now we have to see what happens tomorrow. We'll come again and see and get a reality check on the petrol pump, but certainly on the pollution certificates, people are coming, they are taking their certificates, and since this announcement was made, there have been certificates that have been issued to people, and they are still coming here. A little while ago, there were a few vehicles here who were getting checked and who were getting their pollution certificates, and this will continue, because from tomorrow there will be strict compliance as per the government. None of the vehicles will be getting their fuel without these certificates, and the BS6 vehicles are only authorized to be out. So that is a step that has been taken by the government, but we have to wait and watch what kind of impact it brings to the people in the national capital.
Got it. Anmol Bali is also with us. Anmol, let me come to you. And correct me if I'm wrong, this applies only to Delhi. That means you could still go to a Gurgaon or a Noida to get fueling done if you don't have a PUC. This also only applies to Delhi in the case of BS6. That means, again, the satellite towns can easily be exploited, since they believe like they are breathing as if some other air. Also, Anmol, help me understand, how easy or difficult is it to get away with the false PUC these days?
Sonal, as you know, the national capital is currently battling with the worst pollution crisis, where the AQI has surpassed the very poor and severe category mark, and various measures have been implemented by the Delhi government to curb the deteriorating AQI in national capital. And yesterday it was seen that Delhi's Environment Minister Manjinder Sirsa has told media person that people without PUC certificates will not be getting fuel at the petrol pumps. We have talked with one of the person who gives certificates to the people, those who come here for the PUC. He said that average he used to give around 40 certificates, but now he's having around more than 60 to 70 customers daily. He's also hoping that the number will increase. So this is what Delhi government has proposed to curb the pollution in the national capital. But yes, this is only applicable for the Delhi. Today, while talking with media, Manjinder Sirsa also explained that he'll be having a meeting with people with Petrol Pump Association, those who are requesting government to stop this measure. They are also requesting government to apply these measures to the other satellite cities like Noida, Ghaziabad and Gurugram also, because Delhi's AQI deteriorating is not only Delhi's problem, it's problem of whole NCR region, where minister has also told the media person that he's talking with the other state government, the neighboring cities also, to control pollution there, so that could directly impact the AQI in the national capital. So various measures as government has said they're taking. They have also said they're opening in Google Maps to know about the hotspot and work on the hotspot where AQI is more bad as compared to the other parts of the national capital. Sonal.
Right. I would like to go back to Shivani on this one and get another perspective if we still have her. Shivani, you know, this is a step, actually the first step in the right direction that we've heard in months. Actually getting down and attacking the largest pollutant, which is vehicular pollution in the capital. But could you give us a sense of how easy will it be for these petrol stations, these fuel stations, to actually say no to clients, say no to money on the basis of PUC? And who's actually looking after the execution here?
Sonal, as I was telling you that there are proper cameras that have been installed on each and every petrol pump in the national capital, and the enforcement will include that each and every car that comes here, that will be showing its PUC, and only then the vehicle will be getting the fuel. At least here where I am present, and I have been to a number of petrol pumps, we see that there are some cameras installed. So everything will be monitored. That's what at least the government is saying, that they will be monitoring and the enforcement will be at place. They will be making it strict, and action will be taken if these petrol pump people do not comply with this rule. But certainly we need to do some reality checks once this gets into implementation, that whether it is actually being done on ground, because we've been seeing, Sonal, in past few days there have been no strict compliance or no strict implementations of the rules and regulations. So the enforcement is the key. The enforcement needs to be done, and from tomorrow when this rule comes into being, we'll have to see that whether what has been claimed by the government is actually being followed or not. But certainly the petrol pumps have done their bit. They have their cameras installed, they are ready, and from tomorrow they will be checking the PUCs before giving the petrol to the people. आपसे अगर मैं बातचीत करना चाहूँ, कल से आप लोग सर्टिफिकेट देख के ही पेट्रोल देंगे? इस तरह का रूल है, आप लोग तैयार हैं?
मैडम, जब हमारे पास रूल आएगा तो हम तैयार हैं।
नहीं तो अभी आप लोगों को नहीं मालूम है क्या इसके बारे में कि कल से PUC?
हमारे पास स्पीकर ये उसका पॉल्यूशन वालों ने स्पीकर लगा रखा है, वो अपने आप आवाज आ जाएगी, गाड़ी देख के अपने आप ऑनलाइन आ जाता है कि इसमें मतलब ये।
Sonal, so there are detection cameras that have already been installed on the petrol pumps, and directly if there is no compliance, that camera will make a sound, and then these people will not be giving fuel to them. That's what they are saying. So they are prepared, the installations have been done, but again we have to see on ground how strictly these compliance are being followed and how they are impacting the air quality in Delhi.
All right, that's an excellent idea if enforced correct, and if sort of it actually happens. I'm going to urge Anmol also to try and speak with a couple of petrol people over there, and let's get an idea if they have any sort of, they are up to speed with what's happening. Meanwhile, we've got some reactions also coming in of Delhi Walas on what they feel about the PUC certificates. No PUC, no fuel. No PUC, no petrol. No PUC, no diesel. Take a look.
जो मंत्री जी ने ऐलान किया कि बिना प्रदूषण सर्टिफिकेट के पेट्रोल नहीं मिलेगा, क्या लगता है प्रदूषण को रोकने में कितनी मदद मिलेगी?
बहुत मदद मिलेगी, बहुत मदद मिलेगी। इसमें ये है ना कि अननेसेसरी लोग चलाते रहते हैं, थोड़ा कंट्रोल हो।
क्या लगता है कि जो दिल्ली में प्रदूषण है और मंत्री जी का आदेश आया है बिना पोल्यूशन सर्टिफिकेट के पेट्रोल नहीं मिलेगा, क्या लगता है सही है?
पोल्यूशन कटवाना तो पड़ेगा भैया, बहुत टाइम हो गया, मेरे को भी टाइम से आ रहा था, मैं करवा नहीं रहा था, अब करवाने आया।
आपको लगता है इससे असर होगा?
बिल्कुल होगा, बहुत अच्छी बात है, होना चाहिए, पोल्यूशन कम होगा।
All right, good to see at least the younger lot there saying that they will try and comply. But is he saying that only for the cameras? Will he actually get it done? That's something we still need to wait and watch out for. But tomorrow, like we said, today is the last day to actually get your PUC. From tomorrow, it gets underway, at least in Delhi. On that note, let me also bring in our guest now. Mohammad, Rafiuddin, the program lead for CEEW, joins us next. Rafiuddin, I want to understand from you why this is so critical. Like I said in the beginning, the first time I'm actually seeing the needle move when it comes to some pollution measures being taken. We know by now that at least 50 to 60% of pollutants in the national capital, especially PM 2.5, comes from our vehicles. More from two-wheelers and four-wheelers, of course. But with this step, what exactly are we expecting?
So, you're right when you said that large share of the contribution comes from transport. But I guess, PUC regime itself will not be able to solve this, because the way to solve this is to actually have restrictive measures on vehicles while also giving the people who are restricted to choose other forms of transport. For instance, having adequate public transport to cater to the demand that will be created by restricting these vehicles. Now, why I say the PUC regime itself is not sufficient is the PUC measures a very limited set of parameters. And it doesn't actually measure the particulate matter that's coming out of the vehicles. It looks at carbon monoxide and other constituents. So there are plans to upgrade the PUC regime to a better regime, which measures particulate matter and other things. And the second thing is that PUC is a decentralized measurement system wherein you're going to a petrol pump and you're getting your PUC check. Right, so there's a lot of opportunity for you to game the system also, and sort of I would say I would go on to the extent to say manipulate the readings too. So PUC I don't think is a foolproof system at the moment. It's obviously being upgraded, but unless you are restricting the vehicles on road, this problem is going to persist.
But isn't BS6 as a filter a way to restrict vehicles on the road? Do you think that works? I understand it's only for Delhi and everything else, continues as is. But do you think that helps?
Yeah, definitely. See, BS6 is much cleaner compared to, say, BS4, and obviously several times cleaner compared to BS3. And the fact that India has actually skipped BS5 and leapfrogged to BS6 is itself, a landmark thing that we've done. So obviously it's a stringent standard, and restricting only to BS6 vehicles will definitely bring improvements. But the fact is that even with BS6 vehicles, we have a lot of vehicles on the road. The volume itself is so high that unless you cut down this number also through some means and shift these people to public transport in some way, you're not going to see measurable reductions in particulate matter. Of course, there will be some reduction, but it will not be a drastic reduction in the particulate matter situation that you're seeing right now.
I see. So I'm trying to put the whole picture together. You have PUC, you have BS6 restriction, you have 50% mandatory work from home, and you have hybrid for school. All of these put together in stage 4, which is GRAP 4 basically. Actually, everything apart from odd even has been applied now almost. Do you think we are still missing odd even right now?
So some countries have tried odd even and have found success. For instance, China, for example, tried odd even, and in Mexico there was a famous program where people initially voluntarily let go of their cars once a week, and then it became like a mandatory program, government-backed program, and it also showed measurable reductions. So the fact of the matter is, when you're not putting 50% of your vehicles on the road, obviously you'll see dip in concentrations, and that is something that we've also seen as a natural experiment. When COVID hit and vehicles were forced to get off the road, we saw drastic reductions in particulate matter and other constituents like nitrogen dioxide and other pollutants across the country, not just in Delhi. So obviously, when you take out vehicles and reduce activity on the road, you will see measurable reductions in concentrations. And the current GRAP restrictions on, for example, mandating work from home play a role in enabling
though,
that.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, but play a role in enabling that. Like, for example, if a lot of private companies ask their staff to work from home, then you're reducing in unnecessary commute, either in their whether in their private vehicles or burdening the public transport system, which is already stretched, right? So that will bring down concentration levels, but it cannot be like a temporary measure that's like put in and then taken off. So we need to figure out how we are going to make it a long-term measure so that we have sustained reductions instead of, say, piecemeal reductions.
I think that's an excellent point. Are you suggesting then that we move to BS6 throughout the year and we move to BS6 across North India? Not just Delhi, but knowing fully well that the air we all breathe does not have borders. And it's not like Delhi lungs are different from, a human being in Noida or Gurgaon. Do you think that's where we need to go to for a sustained effort to bring down vehicular pollution?
So it cannot just be BS6. Obviously, it has to also include electrification. For example, there is opportunity to electrify your commercial fleet. your small transport that happens within the cities through the light commercial vehicles, they can obviously be electrified, and there are the technology is already available. The technology is already available for two-wheeler electrification, for example, and we've also seen a lot of electric cars on the road now. The objective obviously is to move towards cleaner fuel, but at the same time look at how we can accelerate the electrification. So ultimately, when you move all the vehicles to electric, then all your tailpipe emissions are gone. So now you'll have to deal with other forms of pollution, like, for example, you call it non-exhaust emissions. That's the dust that getting resuspended in the air due to vehicular movement. But that's a different problem to solve altogether. But at least if you want to reduce your tailpipe emissions, one, you'll have to move as much as possible to electrification. Where electrification is not possible, you'll have to move towards cleaner fuel standards like BS6, and we'll probably see BS7 also in the future, coming in 1 or 2 years.
Okay, last question really, Mohammad. I want to understand from you. Today, the government, there were meetings today that were held at the national level as well. We are made to understand that Delhi Environment Minister was also called in. There were meetings, etc. But for me, the issue is largely that we are not engaging with other states. We are not engaging with a Haryana and a UP and a Rajasthan and a Madhya Pradesh, all of them put together, and then talking about, in fact, even our metros, where again the issue is of vehicular pollution, of construction, etc. Today, if vehicular pollution were to be looked at in isolation, just fixing that one piece of the puzzle, is that going to be good enough to at least better the air by, say, 20%, 30%? Is that ballpark, does that make sense?
Right. So if you look at the numbers, in winter, according to the Air Quality Decision Support System, Delhi's own vehicles, Delhi's own transportation sector contributes to 14% of the air pollution. Now here we are including NCR sources and Delhi sources together. Now if you just look within
transportation sector, you mean only like buses and other vans and other trucks, etc.
All vehicles.
Or vehicles.
Commercial vehicles,
okay.
private vehicles.
Okay.
So if I just zoom into Delhi's own boundaries, I don't look at sources from outside. If I just look at that pie, then within that pie, transportation contributes to 50% of Delhi's PM2.5. So solving the problem within Delhi itself can give you a lot of gains, but like you said, coordinated effort across states, right, will get us the gains faster. The reason is the vehicles that are registered in Haryana, the vehicles that are registered in UP, they come from Noida, they come from Gurgaon into Delhi. There's free movement to and fro. So it's not like you can solve the problem only within Delhi and expect gains, because you have to solve it NCR-wide, which is why the CEEW makes this, to coordinate between all these states and have a coordinated plan that works for all these states. So solving for transportation itself can definitely give you that 20-30% gain that you're talking about. That reduction can definitely come from this sector alone.
Right. So, well, I think that's for me is the silver lining. If you're able to just, because it's a mammoth task to solve for India's air, right? It's a mammoth task because we're a complicated country with lots of little things to sort of take care of. We are spread across, different working class groups, and, it's difficult to enforce at the cost of somebody's livelihood, at the cost of kids staying at home, at the cost of, people not reaching work. So in case, if this one piece of puzzle can be solved, we would have solved at least 20% of the pollution problem. The question now is, Beijing is offering help. Our experts are telling us this. Will the government act? That's the one-point agenda that we really want to see. For the moment, I'll thank you for joining us with the very latest.
Thank you.
All right, talking about implementation, smog and fog, like we said, continues to be major challenges for the national capital. However, today the city got a mild respite from air pollution, with AQI now in the very poor category. No thanks to any measures, by the way, all thanks to the wind speed. Meanwhile, the only speed which is not catching up is our politicians, who continue to spar over the issue. It is not my problem, it is the previous government's problem. This is what I have inherited. This we heard when there were different parties in power in neighboring states, and this we continue to hear when it's the same party across all states and center. So what's happening? Here's the politics of pollution.
Delhi is choking and its politicians are busy in a blame game.
तो उन्हीं की बीमारी दी हुई है, हमारी सरकार पे निशाना क्यों साध रहे हैं?
After 2 days of severe air pollution, the national capital on Wednesday got a mild respite, with the AQI improving to the very poor category.
In the past 24 hours, because of the wind speed, the air quality index in Delhi and the adjoining cities have reduced to a large extent. Again, in terms of when Delhi was reporting 400 plus AQI, now it is actually at 329, which is very poor category, and that too is considered not good for your lungs and for your family members. That's what Delhi looks like on 14th and 15th of December. The AQI was in severe category, and now if you look at the numbers, many of the Delhi AQI stations are still reporting AQI above 350.
The opposition is targeting the BJP government in Delhi over the issue.
ये दिल्ली का अकेले का विषय नहीं, करें हमारी 6 महीने 7 महीने सरकार है, ये देश की सरकार का विषय है, ये केंद्र सरकार का विषय, जहां 12 साल से आपकी सरकार है। आज प्रधानमंत्री जी जिम्मेदारी ले, पर्यावरण मंत्री जिम्मेदारी ले, चर्चा कराई जाए। मेरी मांग है इस विषय पर विस्तृत और ठोस योजना देश के सामने रखी जाए। हम साथ देने को तैयार है, लेकिन इस विषय को आप स्वीकार ही नहीं करेंगे।
जो हालात हैं दिल्ली के AQ लेवल के और तमाम, वो तो बद से बदतर हो गए और मौजूदा भाजपा की दिल्ली सरकार पूरी तरीके से विफल रही है।
Several opposition leaders were seen wearing masks in parliament over the last few days. State Environment Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa accused them of hypocrisy, but admitted that air quality remains a challenge.
तो उन्हीं की बीमारी दी हुई है, हमारी सरकार पे निशाना क्यों साध रहे हैं? प्रियंका गांधी जी बता दें, मैंने उनको पिछले साल का बता दिया, 17 तारीख को 433 था आज के दिन, उन्होंने मास्क लगाया था। सोनिया गांधी जी आप बता दीजिए, 18 तारीख को कल जो आने वाला 450 था, आपने मास्क लगाया था। पिछले दिन में भी 400 कुछ था पिछले साल। मैं पिछले साल का पोल्यूशन बता रहा हूँ, तब आपने मास्क क्यों नहीं लगाया? अगर आपने तब ये इशू पार्लियामेंट में उठाए होते तो अब तक ये ठीक हो गया होता। हमें तो आम आदमी पार्टी बीमारी दे के गई है।
The Delhi government has taken several measures to curb pollution, including 50% compulsory work from home, a ban on all construction activities, and denial of fuel at petrol pumps without a valid pollution certificate, and a ban on the entry of non-BS6 vehicles from other states. Amid all this, the Chinese embassy in Delhi has offered advice on how to tackle pollution. In a post on X, the Chinese embassy said that cleaner air does not happen overnight and suggested a phase-out of high-emission vehicles. With Amit Bhardwaj, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, the politics of pollution. That's the sad question we have to debate today. But joining us next are representatives from BJP, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. Joining me from the BJP is Neoma Gupta, spokesperson and lawyer. Dr. Sonal Mehrotra joins us from the national spokesperson for the Congress Party, and Siddharth Sharma, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson over there. BJP is the party in power, so I have to begin by asking you, Neoma Gupta, that earlier when, good evening ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. Earlier when I was doing the exact same issue, which by the way we've been covering for the past decade,
right,
when AQI was not a household name, we've been covering this issue since then. But the sad trajectory is that then the Aam Aadmi Party government in power said that, listen, Delhi cannot fix this problem alone, we need help from Punjab, we need help from Haryana, we need help from UP. And we said, fair enough, this can't be a problem that can be sorted by Delhi alone. But today, what is the excuse that BJP has? Why haven't we seen a national plan to clean air? Why don't we know that by 2030 or 35 or even 40 for that matter, you have an action plan in place which will clean the air for not just Delhi, but 60% of the country?
Good evening, ma'am. So pollution is a very big concern for us. And yes, right now we are facing comparatively a higher AQI, and Delhi government is working full throttle to reduce the impact of pollution which we are facing right now. Sometimes the weather conditions are not conducive and there are multiple factors. However, while some might say that, you know, there's politicization of pollution, but we have chosen now to take data-driven decisions, tough measures, and have shown no hesitation to impose curbs for public health. So today, as you're saying, why is there no action plan? I'd like to tell you about all the measures which we are taking, which we've actually started taking from the day we formed the government, and which is an ongoing process. Right now, things are more aggressive as the AQI is high, and
We
we're
spoke
taking
about
steps.
those measures, ma'am.
Yeah.
We spoke about those measures. But can I underline that we've heard of these measures after the Delhi Chief Minister was booed at the Messi event? Before that, the Environment Minister was defiant. Before that, the Environment Minister said, "Arey, aap compare kariye pichle saal se aapke saal mein." Anybody who understands anything about AQI will say you cannot compare date to date. You have to see the overall number of bad air days, which are same if not worse.
Okay, so just to tell you, we have been, as I said, from the word go, when it comes to road inspection drives, when it comes to water sprinklers, dust suppression systems, we have already been in place. Everyone living in Delhi has also seen him. Like small things, ma'am, like the potholes in Delhi, which are a major cause of dust accumulation, more than 18,000 potholes have been repaired, 2,650 of roadsides have been paved. All construction and demolition activities have been completely banned, including the highways. Now you're saying you're just doing steps right now. I mean, 96% of the industries have shifted to approved fuels, and the CEEW has like constituted a dedicated cell to track the real-time source of emission from industries.
This is not new, ma'am. This already existed.
Ma'am,
what have you done on top of that?
Ma'am, never were 18,000 potholes done. Never was 2,650 kilometers done. Never were 96% of industries replaced. So don't tell me these things have happened overnight. Yes, right now, with the need of the hour, we have taken very, very aggressive steps when it comes to compliances, PUC certificates, only BS6 vehicles. See, ma'am, please understand, we are also here carrying a legacy of a lot of liability. Having said that, not wanting to politicize pollution issues, we are taking very concrete steps, like supposing legacy waste processing. 7,000 tons per day have been added. This couldn't have happened overnight or over the weekend or over the month of December. It's happened since the time our government came. We are very, very clear that pollution is a very big issue. And as you said in your previous, I think you were speaking to an environmentalist, if I'm not mistaken, even when it comes to concurrent steps, like Haryana, for example, the farm fires have reduced a lot, up to 65%. They are already, like PNG, CNG pipelines are coming into play. UP, heavy diesel vehicles are being barred. Ghaziabad, Noida, municipal authorities are conducting regular anti-smog.
1 week. I mean, okay, on the issue of farm fires, let me be very clear. We have now conclusive data that the numbers are being gamed. That our own investigation done by the Aaj Tak SIT team showed very clearly that farmers have been told the time of the satellite movement, and that's when they plan burning of crops at some other time. So that's clearly established. As far as water sprinkling is concerned, we have seen, I went on the road to do a reality check. A lot of them were hovering around the meters. They were not on the road. And then there is anyways very little evidence of what water does to actually PM 2.5. But let me move on now and bring in Aam Aadmi Party, whose legacy you think you have been carrying on. Siddharth Sharma is here with us. Siddharth Sharma, I want to understand from you, for years and years you have said that, oh, what can we do? We need help from BJP. Oh, what can we do? But even when you were in power and Punjab was within you, how did we see any constructive better? How is the BJP doing anything different from what you did, which was just, pass on the blame? We didn't see anything constructive come out from your end as well. Why are you blaming them now when they're practically following the same playbook?
Sonal, whenever there is a social emergency, universal emergency, there's no point in being adversarial. Just like we saw in COVID, we have to fight this out together. And Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi has been given a mandate of being a constructive opposition. So as a constructive opposition, I'll first try to point out a few lacunas of what BJP needs to do, and then what the possible solutions can be. And that's what a constructive opposition can do.
Please only suggest what you could have done as well. Don't give them gyan now when they are in power. Tell me something that you did that BJP has not followed.
Yeah, a simple thing. Aam Aadmi Party's government in Delhi, when it was there for 10 years, it brought in electric vehicle buses. There are nearly 800 to 1,000 plying right now in Delhi. Can BJP show that next door, Noida or Gurugram, both BJP ruled, has even a single EV bus? No, they cannot. So that's the lacuna that I'm trying to point out. And this is I'm not being adversarial here.
Does Punjab, you have power? You are in government in Punjab. Are there EVs in Punjab?
there's no need for EVs in Punjab. Punjab is a rural area, and as far as Punjab is concerned, I agree to. I would not. That's why I'm not saying anything adversarial here. This is an India Today map of the entire India, and this is an India Today map. Please remember, and you can see Punjab in the green. Punjab air is in the green, and the Delhi air is in the red. So farm fires.
Good day you've chosen to show me the map, Siddharthji. Good day you've chosen. Today the wind speed is nice. Today it's very poor. Good day to show the map.
No, it is India Today's map, na. Sonal, it is India Today's map. It's not my map. The map I'm showing belongs to India Today, and it is clearly showing Punjab in the green and Delhi in the red. So that's why I said I'm not going to get into any adversarial thing. The simple point here, Sonal, I think you'll have to. We also have to understand that if BJP is to be believed, there is no pollution, certainly not from Punjab. If it were, show me one public concern about pollution or Punjab from the Honorable Prime Minister of India, nada, nil, zilch. Plus, the Supreme Court, the LG and the CEEW have already given clean chit to the Punjab farmers. So Supreme Court is on record saying that during lockdown, the Punjab burnt parali, but there was no pollution in Delhi. The LG is on record saying that 74% of the pollution of Delhi comes from local sources. The CEEW has said that Punjab has brought down farm fires by 95%. Now, coming to the solution point, it's very simple. The solution is very simple, lies in Article 1 of the Indian Constitution. India is a union of states. BJP government needs to initiate an all-state, pan-India collective effort to contain this pollution. The more you centralize power, the more you suffocate yourself, release the pressure, decentralize power, make all stakeholders contribute. Governing India and an Indian cricket team are similar. It's a team game, not a Pradhanji's fiefdom. This entire fiasco is a result of the BJP ecosystem being politics heavy and policy light. There is no incentive on the BJP Sarkar to invest in policy. This is not just breath suffocation that we are going through. What we are witnessing is a policy suffocation.
Okay, I'll take your point.
BJP.
I'll take your point on a centralized governing body. And I know Monika Mehrotra is also waiting, but I'll just come to you, ma'am, in a minute. I want to go back to Neoma Gupta. Why haven't we got a centralized body, Ms. Gupta, on this issue just yet? When, like I said, Delhi is yours, Haryana is yours, basically. The mayor is yours. LG elected by you. Central government by you. Now what is stopping you from getting a centralized body? If we as a country could fight COVID, if we could put in mechanisms in place, if we could encourage people to wear masks, why? By the way, why haven't we seen a single advisory on wearing masks? Why aren't our leaders leading by example?
Okay, first of all, there is high-level review on air pollution with the center and state. Okay, so please don't assume no work is being done just because everybody seems to be rather cynical on this point. And over here, let me make something very abundantly clear because I've been cut off when I'm speaking. The fight against pollution is happening on the ground, not on TV and social medias. Orders are being enforced, violators are being shut down, and all this is happening all day. So, when it comes to coming and telling me, okay, every authority is under you, everything, work is being done. It's not easy to come and say all private and government institutions must implement 50% from work, and in another language, this is
no, ma'am, let me also speak.
No, ma'am,
BJP has spent 0 hours discussing pollution.
This is also an advisory.
Parliament.
This is also an advisory. When it comes to things like BS6 vehicles will only be allowed to enter Delhi from tomorrow. These are more than an advisories. These are strict measures which are being taken. And when it comes to things like even compliance of vehicles, we've given them multiple warnings, and now, which were happening over the last few months, and now it's like only valid PUC will get certificates will be provided fuel. These steps.
Let's see how that goes. We'll do a reality check tomorrow.
Yes, you please see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you please
Dr.
see how it
Monika
goes.
Mehrotra has been waiting, and I want to go to her now. Dr. Monika Mehrotra, we basically saw Rahul Gandhi, we saw Priyanka Gandhi raise the issue. They've been talking about it. They're saying, let's discuss it, etc. But have we heard enough from them? My problem is that we hear them say, oh, let's talk about pollution. But the protests that are happening outside Parliament are not on pollution. They are still on SIR and other issues. The opposition has the might at the moment. Parliament is on. They're all breathing the same toxic air. All right, 1 second. We have to cut across to Parliament on that note.
अध्यक्ष महोदय,
वरिष्ठ नेता है, गरिमा के अनुसार बोलना।
सर आप रहिए सर, आपका सानिध्य चाहिए। मैं एक ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण योजना बिल थी जो 2005 में सर इस देश में लागू की गई थी और अब विकसित भारत रोजगार आजीविका गारंटी मिशन ग्रामीण 2025 में जिस तरीके से
All right, that was a glimpse from the parliament where the changing dynamic of the rural scheme, which was Renrega earlier, and now under a different name and a different scheme is being discussed. We'll cut across that, but let me go back to Dr. Neoma Mehrotra. I want to understand from you, Dr. Mehrotra, what exactly has Congress done to raise this issue in parliament with more vigor than just saying, oh, let's talk about it?
Ma'am, at the onset, let me tell you, it couldn't have been more disgraceful for sitting chief minister to be booed at an international event, and with chants of AQI, AQI. Why I say this? Because, we believe in the word of a chief minister when she said this year Delhiites will not have to leave Delhi in the winters. And on the other hand, Sirsa ji said, in 9 months' time, we can't do anything. Now, this is the rhetoric they've been doing it. They have the MCD under them. They have the MLAs are with them. The center government is there. Much could have been done. But it cannot be done only when the winter arrives. It is a 24/7 question. They knew very well that Delhi for the last many, many years have been battling this issue. And constantly there was a blame game of Haryana or the neighboring Faridabad or Gurgaon, whatever. Whosoever might be ruling the state. It was very important to understand the issues. But despite that, it was only blame game. When the Aam Aadmi was there, the LG never allowed them to work. But when Sheila ji was there, she worked consistently with the commissioners, with the MCDs, and she gave numerous, small little acts like Green Delhi, Clean Delhi, say no to plastic, say no to kerosene, involvement of Bhagidari schemes.
But there's a reason Congress is not in power, no, today. There's a reason why people have lost their confidence in Congress as well.
I'm sorry. Ma'am, let me speak, because the others spoke very well. When we went power, the Delhi got the best award from US. Why? Because there was sapling plantation. Even though we built flyovers and roads and metros, we did as much as we could do for the connectivity. And we ensured that single-use plastic was banned. But nothing of those steps have been taken during these two regimes, be it Aam Aadmi or the BJP. The BJP claimed that give us the MCD, give us this thing, double engine sarkar, triple engine sarkar. Now you say, oh, it's the previous people's wrongdoing. And then the audacity of the chief minister who says, we send the MLAs, they look at the mountain garbage and they say, aapko to jana padega, tere ko to jana padega. Ma'am, these are steps taken to help pollution to remove. Come on, have mercy on the people of Delhi. Not only that, the schools have been closed randomly. Now, at least Congress has been,
what do you mean randomly? They've been closed because it's too poisonous for kids to go to school. What do you mean randomly?
Are they doing that?
I don't think that's fair to say. I think we've been asking for schools to be shut, offices to operate at 50%. We want lesser people on the road. We want lesser exposure as well. Come on, you can't say that they've been closed. That's not the alternative, but what do you do in the short term? But let me say this. I have to wrap it up now, and let me say this. I think the reason why people are so angry this time is because when Congress was given a chance, it failed. When Aam Aadmi Party was given a chance, it failed. People really looked up to BJP, gave it a massive mandate only on the hope that with centre's approach, they will manage to fix this problem. And we don't have a plan. That's why people are disappointed, and I think that's what we need to remember. Sadly, that's all the time we have, but we'll pick up this issue again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. See you then.